22 minutes into every World Cup match, the referee blows the whistle and stops the game. Even if it's raining, even if the stadium has a roof, even if it's 65 degrees outside. It happens again at the 67th minute. Every half. Every match. All 104 games. FIFA calls it player welfare. Coaches call it a tactical loophole. Doctors call it not enough. Broadcasters call it the best thing that's happened to football in years. And fans in air-conditioned stadiums are sitting there asking why the game just stopped for no reason at all. That's not 5 different opinions on a minor rule. That's 5 different institutions fighting over the same 3 minutes. So what actually changed? For the first time in World Cup history, FIFA mandated 3-minute hydration breaks midway through every half of every match, regardless of temperature, regardless of whether the stadium is enclosed or air-conditioned. FIFA's chief tournament officer Manolo Zubiria put it bluntly, for every game, no matter where the games are played, no matter if there's a roof or temperature-wise, there will be a 3-minute hydration break. In every previous tournament, breaks were only triggered when heat thresholds were actually exceeded. This time, FIFA removed the judgment call entirely. The official reasoning was player safety. FIFA said the standardized rule was meant to ensure equal conditions for all teams, in all matches, drawing on lessons from the Club World Cup, where temperatures soared into the 90s. But here's where it gets interesting. The experts who pushed FIFA toward this rule in the first place don't think it goes far enough. Yuri Hosokawa, a sports science professor who co-signed a letter to FIFA, warned that once internal body temperature crosses 105 degrees, athletes can become confused, aggressive, or lose consciousness, symptoms of heat stroke requiring immediate medical attention. Her letter urged FIFA to make the breaks at least 6 minutes, not 3. FIFA picked 3. So the rule that's supposedly about science was set at half of what the scientists actually asked for. And that's not even the strangest part. Players and coaches aren't fighting over the science. They're fighting over what the break has become. U.S. coach Mauricio Pochettino said, "I only like it when the conditions are extreme, but when the conditions are good, it is unnecessary." Norway's Ståle Solbakken pointed out the contradiction directly. Football is trying to get faster while FIFA installs scheduled delays into every single match. Then USMNT boss Pochettino was seen gathering his players around a laptop during a break in a pre-tournament friendly, turning a hydration stop into a coaching timeout. This wasn't an isolated incident. In Canada's draw with Bosnia, Bosnia scored, and the hydration break landed immediately afterward. Canada used it to regroup, and their shot count jumped from 1 to 5 in the period that followed. Germany's Julian Nagelsmann admitted his team used the stoppage to reset their attacking shape against an unfamiliar formation from Curaçao. USWNT manager Emma Hayes gave it a name: momentum breaks. A welfare rule was quietly rewriting how teams play football. At first, these complaints looked unrelated. Heat science here, tactics there, and this is where everything connects. A 30-second commercial slot on Fox during these breaks costs up to $750,000. Industry estimates put the hydration breaks at over $250 million in U.S. ad revenue alone, covering more than half of Fox's entire $485 million broadcast rights fee. Globally, broadcast rights already make up 44% of FIFA's projected $8.9 billion tournament revenue. Some analysts now say these slots could eventually outprice Super Bowl commercials, given a World Cup final draws over 1 billion viewers. If broadcasters can show they generated hundreds of millions from commercial space that simply didn't exist before, that becomes the strongest possible argument for FIFA charging even more for the next broadcast deal. So who actually wins here? Even ESPN noted that it's broadcasters, not players, who appear to be the real beneficiaries of a rule introduced in the name of player welfare. Van Dijk's frustration wasn't really about hydration. It was about watching the World Cup get commercialized in real time. The deeper you look, the harder this becomes to ignore. Industry analysts already expect the breaks to outlive this tournament. One predicted, "I think the amount of money made here will catch FIFA's attention," comparing it to how COVID-era substitution rules quietly became permanent. With the next 2 World Cups heading to Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and then Saudi Arabia, all places with brutal summer heat, FIFA has every justification to keep the rule, and broadcasters have every incentive to want it to stay exactly as profitable as it already is.
So the World Cup rule nobody can agree on isn't really about water or heat or even football. It's a single 3-minute window that scientists think is too short, coaches think is too tactical, fans think is too disruptive, and broadcasters think is the best $250 million idea FIFA has ever had by accident. Everyone got a different rule out of the exact same 11 words FIFA announced in December. So here's the question. If a player welfare policy ends up benefiting broadcasters more than the players it was built to protect, is it still a welfare policy, or has it just become advertising with a medical excuse?